My friends, how are you? It's great to see you for yet another video. And one of my favorite things in life, my friends, one of my guilty pleasures is when a Donald Trump supporter gets exactly what they voted for, and then they stand around with a dumb look on their face, can't believe it's happening to them. And today, finally, we get to talk about a little bit of that once again. And don't worry, I have not forgotten that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. I'm just trying to take a break from that. I'll get back to it soon, though, because we got to keep hammering away on Donald Trump being in the Epstein files, my friends. Anyways, this is a recurring theme with Donald Trump supporters where they hear the words he says, they hear him talk about the things he's going to do, and then they vote for him, and then they stand around at Thanksgiving doing the little Donald Trump dance, all excited with their family about how they won. They're winners in life, my friends. And then they find out the prize they won, and they go, this prize fucking sucks. I don't like this prize even a little bit. And it's a thing that keeps happening over and over and over. You remember the one girl that got lied to by Donald Trump, and then she ate the whole thing up. I talked about that quite a while ago, it seems like now. She heard Donald Trump one time say that he was going to make IVF free. I don't know why she believed him, but most of the time Donald Trump is lying unless he's talking about doing bad shit, right? When Donald Trump is talking about doing good things for the American people, he's 100% fucking lying. When he's talking about doing horrifying shit, he's telling you the truth. That's the way this whole thing works, right? God damn, why are we still not figuring this out? But she heard him say that IVF was going to be free, so she voted for Donald Trump because she wanted to start a family, and that part's tragic. But she was also like a U.S. Forest Service worker that ended up not getting her IVF and ended up losing her fucking job because Elon Musk said she was waste, fraud, and abuse. Then you got this guy over in Florida who wanted all the immigrants deported from America, and then his wife gets deported, and he's like, he's on X or Twitter or whatever, and he's like, Donald, if we could please just sit down and have a conversation, I'm sure we could work this out, you dumb bastard. It's already been worked out. He told you he was coming for your wife, and you said, that man's got my vote, and you can deal with that. Now, let me be clear. I am not a fan of the human beings that are harmed in Donald Trump's bullshit. The people that are getting sent off to concentration camps, hardly getting anything to eat, fucking all the bullshit that's going on. People getting thrown on the ground by ICE, and they're completely legal to be here. There are some horrifying fucking things going on in this country. I don't like that part of it even one bit. But what I do enjoy, my friends, is when a Trump supporter, like I said at the beginning of the video, stands there looking completely fucking stupid when the thing he voted for happens to him. So, my friends, it's happening again, and we get to talk about it. There is a gentleman, which is probably not a good term for this asshole, named Robbie Robertson. And Robbie Robertson has a really terrible name, for one. His parents must not have liked him very much, which I can see why. His personality's complete shit. They must have known before he was even born. But Robbie Robertson runs a construction crew in Alabama. And Robbie Robertson has realized that his crew is no longer showing up to work, and that's causing him a real fucking problem. You see, what happened is apparently there were a bunch of ICE raids in Florida. And I say apparently because, fuck, I thought there were a bunch of ICE raids everywhere, really, if I'm being honest with you. That's what I thought was kind of going on in the country. But I, unfortunately, haven't been keeping up with the ICE stuff as much as I can. It's a lot, my friends. God damn, it's a lot to keep up with all of this and also do my job. But apparently there were some ICE raids in Florida where a bunch of immigrant workers got picked up, and who knows what happened to them after that. Just made to disappear by the Trump administration. They might be in El Salvador. They might be in Alligator, Alcatraz, wherever the fuck they might be, right? And then this guy, Robbie Robertson's crew, heard about it, and realizing that they were immigrant labor, let's say that, because I don't actually know what their legal status was. Could be anything. Could be fucking anything, because the problem with the Trump administration is they're deporting people that are legal to be here. Remember all the bullshit we've heard from the fucking Republican Party? You know, the same party that can't keep their fucking hands off the kids, you know, those guys? They have been saying for years, my friends, that that they don't care about immigration. They just wish that they would do it the legal way. And then when a bunch of people from other countries do it the legal way, they still arrest, detain, and throw them in a concentration camp. I'm starting to think, my friends, I'm starting to suspect just a little bit that this entire Republican Party is full of shit, because they're not concerned with it being done the legal way. They are very, very much concerned with letting brown people know that they have the upper hand in this country. It's the only time these fucking underachievers can feel like they're doing anything in life, right? So anyways, Robbie Robertson's crew hears about what's going on in Florida, realizing that their legal status in America may come into question, and they might find themselves in fucking El Salvador. They decide they're just not going to come to work anymore. So Robbie Robertson, who voted for Trump, by the way, I verified that. I made sure I looked it up because I wanted to know that. I did not want to be another guy on YouTube saying they voted for Trump and they're getting what they deserve. Do you know why? I have a very hardline stance on that. I'm going to tell you guys why. There was a channel not too long ago that did a video. They were one of those ones that just pieced together everyone else's videos, but I didn't watch the video. I just heard from some of you guys. I saw my fucking face on their thumbnail. They did a video about how truck drivers for Trump were regretting their vote, and they used me in the fucking video, my friends. I didn't watch. They may have said in the video, this guy's not a Trump supporter, but he is a trucker, or they may have taken me completely out of context. I don't fucking know. This was a few months back. A few of you guys told me about it, and I did see it come up in my feed, and I'm like, why is my fucking face on this thumbnail? Which happens. That's not a big deal. But that is the reason that I'm adamant about figuring out, is this person actually a Trump supporter and Trump voter, before I go off and accuse them of something that they're not. I verified through the few stories that I read that Robbie Robertson is a Trump supporter and a Trump voter. And I don't know how this dumb son of a bitch runs a construction company and did not realize that under the Trump regime that the workers, the actual workers, he's like a fucking foreman or some shit, you know, the guy that tells everybody else what to do, right? That guy. He didn't realize that under the Trump regime, under the rules that Donald Trump wants to bring, that his livelihood would come into question, my friends, that he would run out of people to do the actual fucking job. And since he's not the guy that does the actual fucking job, I guess he just didn't care. I'm not really fucking sure. But Robbie Robertson was 100% aware that Donald Trump was going to be an absolute lunatic with the immigration policies. Now, Robbie points to the parts where Donald was talking about getting rid of the criminals and the drug dealers and all the terrible people out of the country. And listen, I think for the most part, everybody agrees with that. If you're committing like violent crimes, you know, things like that, and your immigration status is in question, look, you're making it hard for everyone to defend you at that point. You know, it's a really difficult thing that I can't very well fucking defend. So if somebody does have an illegal immigration status, they commit a violent crime in America or a number of other crimes, I mean, fuck it. What am I supposed to do about that? I can't really help with that. But so anyways, this guy heard that part of it and said, hell yeah, we're getting all the criminals out of America. Partly because he's dumb as shit and he believes that like brown people and black people commit crimes at a higher rate, which isn't true. It's the white homegrowns. It's like, I shouldn't have said that because Donald Trump wants to lock us up too for not agreeing with him. But then none of that fucking matters. Donald Trump also said, we're gonna round them up. We're gonna get millions of them out of here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Goddamn, I'm a sexy man, my friends. God, I'm so attractive. Tongue hanging out of my mouth. Goddamn. I don't know why you guys watch. I have no fucking clue. I still ain't done, apparently. Anyways, he heard the part also where they were gonna round them all up and they set a quota. The fucking ICE agency has a quota now, and that's why you see a bunch of innocent people getting fucking taken away, because they're just trying to fulfill the fucking quota. You can't put a quota on an agency like that. They just should go out and do the work they can do it in an honest way, and get the fucking thing done. And probably most people would respect that to a point. I know we may have some differences there still in general as people, because there is the Abolish ICE crew, and look, I don't really have an opinion on it. I haven't jumped into that enough to know. But Robbie heard all this, and Robbie still voted for Donald Trump. Now, Robbie's got a project that his crew was working on that is going to, I think he ended up saying it was going to cost something like $84,000 in fines for him going over the deadline, past the deadline to finishing this project, because only about half of his crew is showing up to work now. And he's absolutely fucking dumbfounded by this. He cannot understand why they're not showing up to work. So what I'm trying to tell you is there is real human life at stake here. There are real life people out there that do work hard in America, because I'll tell you that there are a lot of the immigrant workers work a lot fucking harder than I do. That's for damn sure. I ain't getting out there building shit. I ain't getting out there working in the fucking fields. I ain't doing none of that shit. I refuse. I won't fucking do it. And they come here and they work their asses off. And what we're learning, what Robbie's learning, and other people like Robbie are learning, is that like it or not, immigrant labor is what has always built this fucking country. Sometimes in much worse circumstances to this, where we forced people to come to this country and do the fucking labor. That was really fucking bad, wasn't it? Now, like I've always said, you can make the argument that it's exploitation of people because they will work for a much lower wage, and I know the employers know they can take advantage of that. But hey, it's not a perfect system. But Robbie has learned that it is the very people that he went and voted against, that he said, I want them out of my country. A little entitled Robbie, right? Little spoiled brat Robbie thinks that it is Robbie's country, and he wants all the Mexicans to leave. And then when he fucking does cast that vote and he wins his election and he stands around doing a little jerk off dance and he's so fucking excited, months later, 6 months fucking later, he finds out that his whole livelihood is at stake, and it was the Mexicans that were carrying his ass the entire fucking time. Robbie just found out how goddamn useless he is, my friends, and it ain't him that's been out there doing the work. If Robbie was the one doing the work to begin with, he wouldn't be fucking worried about this, but he was so used to giving orders and telling everyone else what to do, and now the people that he's been bossing around for years are gone. they're refusing to show up to work because they don't want to get deported and they don't want to go to a fucking concentration camp. And my friends, like I said, I don't like the part where innocent humans that are just trying to do a job, just trying to provide for themselves, end up caught in the crossfire of all this bullshit. But when it finally hits the smug pricks that fucking voted for this shit, and they find out that they don't know dick about how the world works, and this is a real fucking problem for them, I love that shit. That's my favorite shit right there. That's the best part of this whole goddamn thing. But I don't hold out hope, my friends. I know we have conversations around here where even I get excited and I go, maybe guys, maybe this is the time where Trump supporters will start paying attention. No, these fuckers will vote for him for a third term if they can. They absolutely will. And I say to hell with them. You know, if you want to vote to fuck up your own livelihood, to make a point that you're not even making very efficiently, well then fuck you. That's this. Oh well, that's too damn bad. But we're going to see more of this. We saw the guy, like the couple examples I gave at the beginning. The guy that what was he doing? He had a shoe business. He had a fucking shoe business and then was dumbfounded when he found out that the fucking tariffs were bankrupting him. You know, the product notoriously not made in America, shoes. And he was like, I voted for Donald Trump and these tariffs are killing me. Yeah, stupid. Fucking 40 fucking years. That is the only thing Donald Trump has been consistent on is tariffs, because he doesn't know what they do. He doesn't know how the fuck they work, but it is the one thing he has been consistent on for fucking years. Your dumbass with the shoes should have known that was gonna fucking happen, and then you're asking for sympathy. Oh guys, whatever will I do? You'll go bankrupt, you dumb bitch, because that's what you fucking asked for. That's what you wanted, and you got what you fucking voted for. Why are you so fucking upset? But I look forward to more stories like this, my friends. As we go through forward, we will keep an eye on more dumb sons of bitches that voted against their own fucking interest as a way to own people that they thought they were superior to, and they ended up owning themselves in the process, because that's kind of the only satisfaction we get these days now, isn't it? Anyways, I gotta go. Love you guys. Bye now.